Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2 of SICSS-Howard Mathematica. We're very excited to spend the day with you on digital trace data. I want to thank those of you who made it to office hours this morning. I think it was about 29% of our participants showed up this morning. All the cool kids are doing it. Don't be that person that doesn't go to office hours. So Yandu, who is our TF for the day, our alumni TF, is going to drop our question for the morning in the chat box for us. So the question of the day is, what's the best thing you ate in the last month? I know we're in different states of going outside at this point. So best thing you ate in the last month. So blow up our chat box. Also, please humble brag. Got some reps in the gym this morning. Figured out got some 10 words written in your dissertation. Let us know what's good so we can celebrate you. And please, everybody, celebrate each other in our chat. So just a reminder, as you arrive in this space, to be who you are, and as you are enough. What you have to give and the questions you bring to the table this morning and every morning when you join us are enough. Take care of your biological and technological needs as they come up. You should eat whenever you need to eat, on camera, even turn your camera off if needed. We are human. Oh, I just saw someone write vegan cheesesteak. Woo! Is that our Philly friend, I hope? Everyone is a student here, no matter what your title. Set your personal intention for today. Yesterday is over. Tomorrow is a mystery. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Set it for today. Start thinking about what your personal intention is for this institute. Is there something specific you want to learn, a skill you want to begin to master, or do you want to drink all this in from the fire hose, from which is delivered and revisited again after the institute? Is it collaboration on a project? Is it asking questions confidently? Is it practicing R? Is it getting funding at the end? Set your intention for today. It can change tomorrow. It can change in an hour. It can change midday. It's yours and yours alone. Run your own race. Think about how you self-sabotage. Do you isolate yourself? Do you under-participate? Do you over-participate? Do you stop talking? Do you focus on how things are presented or done instead of the content of things you are learning? I challenge you to think about what you can do today to self-support, self-love, self-amplify, and be great. Become who and what you need to be to succeed today. All right, so we're going to go over a few housekeeping items. We're only together for about 15 minutes this morning before we have you jump into activities. We might extend it slightly to give our inspirational speaker, Amy Yeboah-Kwarkame, who you saw last night, come join us. Excited to, oops, hold on. We've got somebody who can't get into the main room. Let's figure out what's going on. Like I said, live fun. If they can't get into the main room, if they're writing you on Slack, ask them if they are clicking on the correct, information for today. Make sure they're clicking on the correct information for today and not trying to log into a room from yesterday. That's what I would recommend. Okay, we're live. We're going to jump back into our housekeeping. So what I was saying is we may need a couple extra minutes for Dr. Yeboah to join us. We want to make sure we have some time for inspiration this morning. So we might run a few minutes late waiting, but hopefully she'll be here in a few minutes. Reminder, if you arrive in the middle of a session because either you've been bounced out or something like that, your camera should be turned off and you're muted. I think we're set for that, so I don't even think I have to remind you. But we're trying our best to do all our sessions where you can see all each other's beautiful faces. So please turn on your cameras so we can see you. Yeah, don't worry too much about that. A piece of information that will be helpful if it is the middle of the day. And we're on break, we would request that you hang out in a room, in one of our breakout rooms, or request we put you in the waiting room. We try to work in this main space. It's also helpful if you press the summon button and summon me, that I can be pulled from this room. Let's see, and also it's helpful for them to, you'd be able to pull me from this room or come to this room if you have questions. So we have some technical challenges. Let's see, Ella, can you put the link, can you send the link to the people that are having difficulty getting into the room to them directly? Can you DM them in Slack, please? Send that to them directly. All right. What was I saying? Oh, if you arrive here early or we're on break, please head to one of the chat rooms, one of the breakout rooms, so that we can keep things moving. So we try to use this room for work. So we will generally ask you if you arrive back in the room if you have a question, or we'll ask you where you want to be sent. So this is I turn into a train conductor or one of those people that does like the telephone operator. So we want to get you in the room so we can keep working during that time. Reminder to arrive on time because we want to be able to give you longer breaks. And we're going to keep doing that. We're going to keep adding longer breaks. And in order to do that, we need to start on time. We're waiting on Amy. Let's see. Oh, reminder on office hours. So 9 a.m. and 12 noon for R, Python, and Stata. Every morning between now and the end of this first week. And then we have content specific office hours, which will open when you do your activities. So if you have a question, you can go to the content specific office hour room and ask questions. You can also summon that person, but we ask you actually leave them in that room so that all groups can come in and out. If there are multiple people in that room, you might be able to coax them to come to your room. Use your best judgment. We want to try to leave someone in that room at all times to be helpful. All right. I wanted to mention that we still have some open slots for lunchtime discussion questions, panel discussion questions, and guest speaker discussion questions. You are required to sign up for 2 for lunchtime, 1 for panel, and 1 for guest. If you sign up for one that has multiple videos, please make it clear which video you're going to watch so that we get full coverage. And we want to make sure that we cover all of our videos. Okay, so if you are missing a sign up, you will have gotten a DM from both me and Ava yesterday to correct it. I know for the lunchtime talks, there are a few people that signed up, I think, for 3. And we have at least one person who still needs to sign up for a second one. And right now, if they do that, they can only sign up for 2 slots in the same presentation. So you should have, there's a post on Slack about that so that we can help that person sign up for 2. For the people that want to sign up for more than 2, we can always, you're always happy to welcome to ask questions in addition to those people, but we want to make sure that everyone at least gets 2 slots. So if you have 3 slots, please connect with the person who only has 1 to make sure that they're able to get a second one. And I'm happy if you're unclear about that. I'm happy to go over that with you if you have any questions. Let's see. All right. So Merlin, can you also let's see. Ella, can you also DM Ava? She's having a problem with the Zoom link as well. So what we may need to do is X out of the Zoom link and let everybody back in. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. If those people cannot get in, it may be that somebody may have accidentally locked the room. So we'll have to double check that in just a second. So I'm going to finish my intro and then we might X out everybody and come back. Let's see. I mentioned the 29% attendance for office hours. I want to remind you, yes, someone said, Christina said she had to manually highlight the entire link and then paste it into the browser. So Ella, can you please drop that into DM for those people? Ava, as well as the others. Anybody you see that is missing, please DM them with that information. Let's temporarily just post that in Slack publicly too. I can always delete it. So can you add that hyperlink and say if anyone is having difficulty getting in, this is the hyperlink, and then put will be deleted shortly after, because we don't want to get any folks in here who are not supposed to be in here. I want to remind you also that you are able to network with folks from other sites via the general channel and also the pre-office hours, that you're able to meet other people. So you're welcome to set up a room for particular topics, a particular channel. You're trying to find other people that are interested in your topic area. You can definitely recruit others to engage with. And again, we welcome teams to apply for funding that crisscross sites as long as there are at least 2 people from our site involved from either 2021 or 2022. And if you haven't already done so, if you haven't noticed Yandu's information on our research sheet, you may want to spend some time getting to know her. She's going to cycle through all of our rooms at some point today and say hi. But she's a person that you could pull into a research project. She has a pretty incredible background, and you should spend some time getting to know her. Let's see. I mentioned the missing signups. Okay, so we're going to do our keep, start, stop. So Merlin, can you go ahead and share that for us, please? Our keep, start, stop slides, and we're going to go over that. While Merlin works on that, I'm going to mention those of you who are signed up to help with the Just Tech lunchtime talk, if you could plan to be available a few minutes early. We will put you, when you arrive and join me in the main room, I will put you into, after I talk to you, put you into the speaker holding room so you could get to know Mike. So that would be BJ, Daniel, Andrea, and Susanna. I believe those are the 4 people signed up. Why do I feel like there might be a 5th person? Ella, if there is a 5th person, can you add them to the list that's that I'm highlighting right now? If there is a 5th person, please add them to that highlighted list. I feel like there's 5 people. All right, so before we go over the group exercise, let's do the keep, start, stop slides. I'm gonna move this over here. All right, Merlin, please go ahead and advance the first slide. So this is day 1. This is your feedback from yesterday. So keep. Go ahead and advance the slide, Merlin, for us. Thank you. Discussion, love that, great, appreciate. We're trying to do a mix of small group stuff and large group discussions, so everyone has the benefit of all the incredible knowledge and the interdisciplinary thinking that's in the space. So we'll continue to try and create things to allow you all to hear from each other. Half-hour break, yep, we're gonna keep doing that. I'm going to tell you that you'll have longer sessions going forward, and if you need a break within your session, please, you can agree to a timeline as a group. So if you need another break, totally fine. Social justice framework, yes, yes, yes. Glad you appreciate that. We were very thoughtful about these things, trying to create a good experience for you. Multiple short breaks, personal experiences and stories, and the opportunity to meet alumni. Yep, you're going to keep getting that. Glad you like it. Enjoyed the utilization of breakout rooms for activities. I especially enjoyed that they were shifted throughout the day, and so we were able to meet multiple people in a day. We will keep doing that. Today is a day where you probably, I think we go deep with the same group today, but remember you have your the breakout rooms, and you also have your break sessions to meet other people. I suspect when you go to office hours, you'll also meet people too. So even if you just go and you're a fly on the wall during office hours, you'll probably meet people. We'll also have everyone present out at the end of the day about what they did, so you'll get people's perspectives and such too. All right, let's go to the next slide. So start, time for introducing ourselves. Please take that in your small groups. So we did introductions on the first day. You're welcome to go ahead and rewatch those videos. There are introductions to absolutely everyone who's here. There's also our people page, which includes bios for everyone. We also have the research sheet that provides people's research interests. So please make sure you're using all of the different things that we create. And also when you're in your group, make time to introduce yourselves. I think that's a great idea. More time for lunch if possible. Again, please take breaks when you need them. Our program has a particularly tight schedule, so we can fit things in. Everybody here is a fully formed, sentient being, and should do what they need to do in order to take care of themselves. So if within your group you decide you want to take a few extra minutes for lunch or bring your lunch to the meeting, please do that. So don't let our schedule get in the way of your eating. You can always put things in your earbuds and cook and eat during our sessions. You're totally fine. Still not sure, no suggestion, not applicable. Cool. Okay, let's move on to our feedback. So things you want us to stop. Nothing. All right, then we've got the whole group debrief after the small group discussion felt like an overkill. As a small group, we had an engaging discussion, but the whole group discussion did not feel as dynamic. Perhaps the staff can come to the breakouts to see how things are going instead. We're going to do both. So we have our alumni TFs every day. They're going to cycle through the room and say hi. We will not be responsible for moderating small group discussion. We will also, so we will push you to do that on your own and make sure you have a dynamic experience. We also encourage you to bring that dynamism to our giant group. So if you had great points, let's not have those exist in a small group vacuum. Let's bring those to the big group. So we want everyone to benefit from the great discussions that are happening in each of the small groups. So I think it actually would be quite sad if at the end of this there were only small pockets of knowledge and everybody didn't have the benefit of all these discussions. So please bring that dynamism, that great discussion to our large groups when we bring that. We want everyone to continue getting to know each other. And then finally, I can't think of anything. Okay, we want to hear more stuff from you all, so keep sharing. Continue. Anything else? I'm enjoying every moment. The ethics discussion felt a little longer than needed. I'm not sure if this person is mentioning either our small group or our large group, but please let us know. As you know, the entire first chapter of Matt's book is about ethics. And it's an important part of computational social science. As you go across our various issues in the next week, you'll see that it keeps coming up. So we, as a larger SICSS initiative, believe very deeply in centering ethics ahead of all things. So that is where that came from. But feedback heard, and if there's particular things that you think were too long, write to me directly and we can work through that. Thank you for sharing your personal stories. So much to learn and relate to. I'm glad you all appreciated that. It was not an easy thing for me to do. As outgoing as I seem, I'm kind of on the line between the two. So I do need a fair amount of privacy. I study privacy. In addition to some downtime. So that the only reason I have a website is my undergraduates pushed me to create it. So that was a hard thing for me. So I deeply appreciate that that you enjoyed it. I really liked and benefited from the Crown Act part. It reminded me to struggle against the headscarf ban in schools in my country. So I changed that to country instead of the country that was there because we're trying to keep this anonymous. But if that person wants to unmask themselves at some point, we'd love to hear directly from you about this, which upheld just 5 years ago. It has also made me think of other ethnically discriminated people in my country whose voices were suppressed. Before the workshop, I was thinking that I can learn a bit about the struggle of the Black people, but now you have made me think of the unspoken rights of ethnic and religious people, women and moms. Every country has its own privileged male class. I am getting chills from this. When Annette told that the academia is not just a place for white single male people, but is for women and moms, she sparked a big fire in my mind and heart. Please, I saw the barriers I'm facing in my academic life. Thank you for that so much. You know, we work very hard to put this together in a way that gives all of you space to think about your experience and to uphold the experience of minoritized populations. So I'm glad that hit home, and thank you for sharing that. Okay, we can drop the slides. All right. I don't know if our speaker has arrived yet. I am not. What'd you say? All right. So since folks are having problems getting in, we're going to drop out and come back real quickly to reset and make sure everybody can get in, and then we'll do our inspiration and go over the exercise. So everybody, please log back in.
This morning begins with my day, how my day starts. And I'm sure everyone comes from different backgrounds, from different communities, but when I wake up in the morning, I generally have over 20 things to do on my list. And first, I start with things I have to do. I have to do with my career as a professor and creating knowledge. I have to do research. I have to do my research projects. I have to check on my grants that I'm running. I'll check on my graduate students who are on my grants, if they're getting paid or they have everything they need for us to complete our projects. I have to read new material just to make sure my material for my students are kind of up to date. And these are things that I have to do. And I have to do these things because when I was coming up as a graduate student, my professors did these things for me. Like, they were up on their research and teaching me classes. I was fully funded, so they did their due diligence to make sure that the money was coming in from their projects to fund me. So I do that. I have my list of projects, things I check on every morning that I have to do. Then there are things that, you know, I just want to do. Like, I want to go to the beach. I want to, you know, eat hot dogs and go barbecuing. So I have to leave time for things that I want to do. That trying to find a balance between being a scholar and just being a human being, being a wife. You just want to do things that for yourself. Then there are a list on the same list have things that I also just do. Like, I have to eat, I have to go to church, I have to pray, I have to do laundry. Like, so the list is long. The list is long, and every morning, sometimes I check off some things off the list, and sometimes I don't. But what motivates me to kind of even attack the list, whether it's today and everything on Zoom isn't working and I have 3 Zoom meetings, or it's a Friday where I try not to work on Fridays, and a student may want to meet, right? You take a meeting because as a professor, your goal is to kind of train students to replace you, right? So you take a late Friday meeting with the students to figure out where they're going. But what motivates me as a Black woman in America is thinking about, my parents are from Ghana, and in Ghana there are the dungeons. And if you know the historical legacy of the dungeons, when Africans were kind of taken from their homes. They were taken from their homes and were brought to the dungeon. And between being captured and walking to the dungeon, some people died. Going from the dungeon to the boat, some people died. On the boat, some people died. When people got across the water, people died. When people got to the plantation, people died on the plantation. When people who were working on plantations maybe came and lived through Jim Crow, people also died. And even today, unfortunately, going to the grocery store, you know, I'm from New York, people die. And just knowing that the life we have, we don't take it for granted. My purpose is to be a professor and instructor, to create new knowledge, to trim our replacements, to, you know, be a woman of family. I just try my best, and that motivates me every day, because I don't know what makes me, not to say so blessed, but what makes my bloodline so honored to have made it through all these major footholds as a Black woman, and I'm still here. So that motivates me. I just try my best. Know that in the academy, which is predominantly white male, as a Black woman, I wasn't supposed to be in this space. So I just motivate myself to try my best to create a bigger space for someone else who looks like me. If you are someone who's Native American, knowing the history of Native Americans in this American context, to know that, you know, you're still doing this work, it should motivate you to kind of just keep trying. But trying to find balance in your career, in your family life, in your own personal goals, right? Knowing that you have the time, the space to do that, that for me should motivate you. And when you don't meet everything on your list, you just keep on going. You know, some days you'll check off research, journal, article, conference orientation, and some days you wake up and Zoom doesn't work, and then all you can do is just have some quiet time to yourself and look at a computer. So that's my motivation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yeboah Kwarteng. I think your words are particularly poignant today with the catastrophic crash of my non-Berkeley Zoom. Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a blessed and beautiful day.
You too. Bye.
All right, everyone. We're going to get back to our agenda. We're gonna cover what is an introduction to your exercise for today. If you see that your classmates are not here, please ask them to join via phone if they can't get in by Zoom, and we're going to work on fixing that. So people are slowly trickling back in. Thank you so much. It seems to be a Zoom-wide problem. For the non-enterprise Zooms, my login just won't work anymore. So fun. So we'll be using this for today. I'll leave that up on Zoom for now. So I'm going to bring to your attention our exercise for today, which is in the chat box. I also want to give you our room setup. So we're going to go over things right now, but please open our rooms, Merlin. So I'll go over the exercise now, and Yandu is going to actually offer some thoughts on the experience, because she did it last year. For those of you who are on our phone and may not be able to see your room, don't worry, we'll work on getting you there. We're just gonna roll with it and do what Black people have always done, which is just make it work. So today is a make it work day, and I'm here for that. Okay. So our exercise. So the videos associated with day 2 of the lecture videos that you watched, they covered a broad range of topics, including screen scraping, working with APIs, and building apps and bots for social science research. Some of you already had some experience with that, so we ask you questions in that survey to get a sense of that, so we could split you up into groups that are more balanced. Okay. But for others, this may have been your first time collecting digital trace data. That this may be the first time that you do that. So this group exercise is designed to find a balance between practicing rudimentary skills for those of you with little or no experience in this area, and cutting edge techniques for those of you with an extensive expertise in this area. And you do have support in the way of our TAs. And I'm remembering right now that I need to make sure that our TAs for today have the updated link, because they won't be able to get in right now. So I'm going to pause and send an email to our TAs for onboarding. Like I said, live, all in motion. Let's see. So I'm just going to reply to this real quick. Zoom error today. People use this new link. Here you go. That is not the link. That is all of your names. So I need to copy the link from Slack where I put it. Da, 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 da. My dad joked, past tense, that I would do this thing called the do to do to do song when I'm thinking. So that's what you'll hear occasionally. I'll say the do to do to do song, or I will occasionally say, what am I doing and why am I here? Which is very existential. Okay, so I'm sending that to our TAs real quick, and then I'll jump back to describing our exercise. Okay, where were we? Here we are. Okay. So as an added bonus, this exercise not only challenges you to practice your coding skills, but to think about how to ask questions that contribute new knowledge to social science theory as well. So we have a balance of people in the room generally, some that are social scientists, some that are not. So maybe that the thing that you bring to the table is your exceptional social science skills. It could be your exceptional technical skills, but in all cases, I would encourage that you start in your space by taking note of what skills are in the room, what you need, and figure out a plan forward. And remember, you have the TAs once they arrive at, I believe 10 o'clock is when they will arrive. If they're not already here, they should be on their way soon. So some of you are thinking, all right, there's discussions here about digital trace data. What are some different types of digital trace data that I can use? So I believe that the video talks quite a bit about using Twitter, but that is not your only option. So I'm going to add this on here. So this is a list of different APIs and options that you might want to consider for data. So we're using Twitter data tomorrow for our next exercise. So you'll have a chance at that tomorrow. And if you want to try something else today, great. Or you may want to stick with Twitter. That's fine too. You may also want to think about how you share code within your research group. So I'm going to keep challenging you to think about those how questions. It's not just learning the theory, but also figuring out how to keep that code and that stuff for use after this. So Maxine talked quite a bit about that yesterday. All of our folks did, about how important the code is that you will get here during this time and how you'll be able to use it later. So think about, be intentional about how you share code, how you save code, because you'll be using that process probably the rest of this week. So I'm going to pause there and ask Yandu to share a bit of her experience in doing this exercise before we send you all to your rooms. So Yandu, take it away.
Hi. So yeah, in doing this activity, I was more on the, I have experience with R, but I never worked with APIs and screen scraping, like all of that was new to me. The group that I was in, we had used Twitter to get information related to food. We were inspired by Juneteenth. And so I just wanted to get anything related to the types of food people might eat. For, what was it? High on the Hog, I think was a show that had come out around the time. And then, yes, so one thing that I learned during this activity was that we were following, it was within the learning materials that Chris Bale had written, and then there's annotated code for like APIs. We spent so much time applying for a Twitter developer account, and we learned that you don't actually need one to do this activity. If you use the package within R called R tweets, and there's another function, you can see it in the annotated code. It will give you tweets of like people's statuses for the last 6 to 9 days. And you can get, I think, up to like 18,000 tweets, or like it's something quite large that you don't need to spend time creating a Twitter developer account, because we spent too much time doing that. But it was also a great opportunity to just spend time thinking of a question that you might want to ask. And yeah, it's a good space to even do that before you even start like jumping into like the code and the data, but like your intention of like a question that you'd want to answer or could be potentially answered by APIs or screen scraping or the other types of data that are available. I think that's everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yandu. And I dropped in the chat box an incredible question we got last year just on that point that you brought up. So it was from Todd, who was one of our TAs, our alumni legacy TFs. from yesterday. So he asked us a question, hello world, I have my first substantive question. Do I need a Twitter account? And it's exactly what Yandu just mentioned. So I dropped his original question and the answer we gave him last year into the chat box. So I recommend that everybody copy that and have that at your disposal. And also know that all of our TAs, whenever they get in the room, we're working on that, we'll be familiar with this. Peter, who was with us this morning, helped us correct a bug related to downloading tweet data for tomorrow. I also encourage you, remember, you have Slack at your disposal, right? So there's the general list. If you are having a problem, other people are having that problem. I'm about to write everybody on the organizer channel about catastrophic failure of Zoom. So don't forget that it's not just folks in this room. So whether the TAs are able to make it in today or not, whether Yandu has the answer, whether I have the answer, whether your group has the answer, remember there is the Google, and there's also the whole entire 500 or 600 people on Slack right now that are support. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and open up our breakup rooms. We're going to open up our breakout rooms. They should be, let's see, they should be open. If they're not already open, they are open. Please head to your breakout rooms. So our lists, our names for today, if you haven't noticed, are Black TV shows. So I'm super excited about those. So our rooms for the day are Martin, Amber, Andrea, and Jovante, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, little interesting feeling about that guy right now. Imani, Asha, and Christina, Insecure, Jeremiah, Daniel, and Rebecca, A Different World, Nayantara, Erica, and Renee, Gronish, Rumansar, and let's see, Grace and Susanna, and then Proud Family, BJ, Gatumsa, and BJ Gatumsa. That's it. So please head to your rooms. We will let you know via a message when our TAs are officially in their rooms, but take the time to get familiar with the exercise, shake off what just happened. I'm gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be shaking it off, shake off what just happened, and just know that our team is on top of it and you can focus on the content. Ignore the details and things happening around you right now. Get to it. See you soon. Yandu will pass through your rooms to say hi too. Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, follow us on social media, and join our email list.